Welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College.
Welcome students. Standard 6th History Chapter number 5 Religious Trends in Ancient India Part 6. Today we are going to learn about the remaining part of this lesson. So let us start, children.
Next point is 5.4 Christianity. We are going to see about this religion, that is Christianity. I told you that many other religions also came up in India. They took root in the Indian society, and the next religion is Christianity. Christianity, this religion was being founded by Jesus Christ. It was being founded by Jesus Christ. Then it spread all over the world. It spread all over the world, and Saint Thomas, who was the 12th disciple of Jesus Christ, he came to Kerala in the 1st century of Christian era, and then he established church at Palayur in Trichy district, that is in Kerala, in 52 CE. So Saint Thomas, he was the 12th disciple of Jesus Christ. He came to India, that is in Kerala. He came in the 1st century of the Christian era, and then he established a church at Palayur in Trichy district in 52 CE. According to the teachings of Christianity, there is only one God, and this God is the loving Father of all and is omnipotent. Now, what is the meaning of omnipotent? Omnipotent means a God or a deity who is having unlimited power. Unlimited power is called as omnipotent. So, there is only one God, and He is a loving Father of all, and He is omnipotent. That means He is having unlimited power. So, and that is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Jesus Christ is the Son of the God, and He has come to the earth for the salvation of mankind. What is salvation? Salvation means freeing the mankind from his sins, freeing the human from their sins is called as salvation. Salvation means freeing up from the sins. Freeing the humans from their sins is called as salvation. So Jesus Christ is the Son of the God, and He has come to the earth for the salvation of mankind. So that salvation of mankind means to free them or to liberate them from their sins. According to the teachings of Christianity, it says that we are brothers and sisters. So children, if you have gone to a church, if you have visited a church, or if you have worshipped a church, you might have seen that everybody quote each other or greet each other by the name of brothers and sisters. So they will call out each other by the name of brother and sister. We should love everyone, including our enemies also. According to the teaching of Christianity, it has been taught that we should love everyone, including our enemies also. We should also forgive who go wrong, or if anybody does any mistake, we should forgive them. Then the holy book is Bible. Bible is the holy book. Bible is the holy book of Christianity, and the prayer house is church. The prayer house is the church. That means where they worship their God. Now the next point is 5.4, 5.5 Islam. Islam is the next religion which we are going to see about. Trade relations. In the ancient times, there were trade relations between India and Arabia, Saudi Arabia. So there were trade relations between India and Arabia. That is why Arab traders would come to India. They would visit the ports on the coast on Kerala. They would visit the ports. They would visit the ports which were there on the coast of Kerala. And Islam spread in Arabia in the 7th century CE, that is Common Era. So Islam spread in Arabia, that is Saudi Arabia, in the 7th century CE, and then Islam arrived in India, or it spread in India in the same century, that is 7th century CE, through Arab traders. Islam, this religion, it came to India in the same century, that is 7th century, through the Arab traders. Because Arab traders would come to India for trade. Islam is a monotheistic religion. Now, what is the meaning of monotheistic? Monotheistic means it is a belief that there is only one God. According to the teachings of Islam, there is only one God, and that is there is only one Allah. Allah is the God of Islam, and there is only one Allah. And Muhammad is his prophet. Muhammad is his prophet. Muhammad is his prophet. Now, what is the meaning of prophet? Prophet means the Hindi word, or the Hindi word for prophet is Paigambar. What do we call for prophet in Hindi? Paigambar. The message of God is revealed through him in the holy book of Quran Sharif. Quran Sharif is the holy book of Islam, and the word Islam means peace. Peace means Shanti. Shanti. And it also means that Islam also means that surrender to Allah. That means each person should surrender to Allah. The teaching of Islam is that Allah is eternal. Allah is eternal, absolute, all powerful and merciful. The purpose of human existence is to worship to Allah. The purpose of, according to the teachings of Islam, the purpose of human existence is to worship to Allah. The Quran Sharif provides guidance on how a man should behave in life. So Quran Sharif is the holy book of Islam. Quran Sharif is the holy book of Islam. And this holy book, it provides guidance on how a man should behave in his life. And here the prayer house of Islam is mosque. The prayer house of Islam is mosque, or we can say masjid. The prayer house of Islam is mosque or masjid. The next point is 5.6, that is Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is a religion, and Zoroastrian means the people who follow Zoroastrianism, this religion, they are called as Zoroastrian. And Zoroastrian and Vedic people, they share ties with each other. Share ties means what, children? Share ties means that they know each other. They were knowing each other, and they were familiar with each other. They were related to each other. The sacred text of Parsi, Zoroastrian are also called as Parsi. So if you listen to this name, or if you got to know this name, you know who are Parsis. So you know Parsis. So Zoroastrian means Parsis. Sacred text of Parsi or Zoroastrian is Avesta. What is the name of the sacred text? That is Avesta. Avesta is the sacred text of Parsis. Then language of Rig Veda and Avesta is similar. That is why we say that Zoroastrian and Vedic people, they share ties, because see, you can come to know by the language only that the language of Rig Veda and Avesta is similar. And that is why we can say that they share ties with each other and they were knowing each other. Parsis came from Fars province of Iran. So can you see, children, here? Parsis and Fars. So from the Fars, the name Parsis has come. The name Parsi originated from this province, that is Pars. That is why we call them as Parsis, because they have come from the Pars province of Iran. And they came to India, that is in Gujarat, in the 8th century CE. It is believed that they came to India, that is in Gujarat, in the 8th century. Zarathustra or Zoroaster was the founder of Zoroastrianism. Who was the founder of Zoroastrianism? Zarathustra or Zoroaster. So see children, from this name you can see Zoroaster. From this name they have got the name of their religion, that is Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism. So the founder was Zoroaster. That is why the name of the religion is Zoroastrianism. So the founder of this religion, that is Zoroastrianism, is Zoroaster or Zarathustra. Then Ahura Mazda is their god. Ahura Mazda is their god. Who is the god of Zoroastrianism? Ahura Mazda. Ahura Mazda is their god, and Zoroaster is the founder of their religion. Then in their religion, elements such as fire and water, they are given importance. They are very important. Fire and water, these elements are very important according to their religion. Then the sacred fire which burns in the temple is called as Agyari. So the sacred fire which burns in the temple is called as Agyari. So the place where they go to worship their god is called as Agyari. The three main principles of conduct according to Zoroastrianism are: first one is good thought, second is good words, and third is good deeds. That means you should have good thinking, your thoughts should be good, your thoughts must be good, then your words, whatever you speak should be good, you should speak properly with others, and third is good deeds. Whatever you do, whatever work you do should be good and should be for the benefit of the society or the country. So these are the three main principles of conduct according to their religion. So children, this lesson is over. So now we will meet in the next video, children. Thank you.
Students, now we will stop here as we have finished with this lesson, that is chapter number 5, Religious Trends in Ancient India. I hope so you all have understood the lesson. Now we will meet in the next video, which will be on chapter number 6, Janapadas and Mahajanapadas. Thank you.